A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News here on News First. I'm Ramesh Rugal Bandara.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Before we go into your stories in detail, let's take a look at the headlines.
The headlines on News First at 9.
Demonstration against police STF in Nindavur. UNP alleges that Sri Lanka paved the way for international investigations into human rights. China requests Sri Lanka to protect human rights. Requests for a 10,000 rupee wage hike through the 2014 budget. 50 people killed in Russian air crash.
News First at 9.
On to our top story tonight. Residents of Nindavur staged a hartal today, blocking the Kalmune-Pothuvel road over a crash that broke out in the area last night.
This hartal in Nindavur was staged over a crash that broke out between area residents and police special task force personnel last night. Area residents say the clash broke out after the capture of an individual they suspect of being involved in several nighttime robberies in the area. Stones were thrown at about 8:15. I told my wife and she said let's look into it after dinner. Adjacent to us is Haji Faiza Qasim's estate. 2 people were changing clothes there. I ran and shut the door and called people in the vicinity. When I looked again, they were gone. I heard a sound and found them there. The people caught the rogues in the night. They were saved by the STF. The people rallied and they prepared to shoot the people. The chairman of the Nindavur Pradeshia Sabha, M.A.M. Tahir, visited the scene of the incident and was injured in clashes that ensued. He is now receiving treatment in hospital. They saw some people speaking in Sinhalese and thinking that they were some other people, they immediately informed the police. We went there, but these people were in civil attire. We identified ourselves. Then they changed their clothes. They had a vehicle and they tried to take their guns and go away. Then the people got together and tried to hand them over to the police and called the police to the location. When they tried to escape, the people began shouting and that is when shots were fired. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana said that a group of police STF personnel had patrolled the area last night following complaints lodged regarding a number of robberies. The police media spokesperson said that 2 officers were dressed in civil attire and that the crash had broken out after the people became suspicious that the STF personnel were involved in the robberies. He said that the STF personnel had fired into the air as a crowd control measure. A police STF officer and a police officer have been hospitalized after sustaining injuries in the incident.
If investigations reveal that the STF officers have done something wrong, then we will take steps against them. Investigations are currently underway. We urge the public to remain calm. The suspects of a brutal murder of a police constable and his wife in Kamurupitiya, Matara, are still at large.
The couple had 2 children aged 2 and 6.
The bodies of the murdered police constable Liyanarachige Sunil of Velgama and his wife were brought to their home in Ullama, Kumburupitiya today. Their 6-year-old son, Asridus Lakshana, who survived the horrible fate of his parents, is still in shock after witnessing a scene that no child should. He may also be pondering on the fate of his little brother who was victimized by the murderers and is currently being treated at the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital. News First made inquiries regarding the condition of the child from the director of the hospital, Dr. Shelton Pereira. A 2-year-old boy who was in a state of shock was brought to a hospital from Mathura last morning. We treated him for shock and carried out emergency procedures, following which we subjected him to a CT scan. The scans did not reveal any internal injuries. We have admitted him to the intensive care unit for further treatment. The child is currently in a stable condition.
බලාත්කාරයකට ලක් කරන්න ලැබුවා. මේ වෙන විට දරුවා ප්‍රකෘතියට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
There were 3 war heroes in the family. One has left us forever. It was my brother who was continuing the service. He has been with the STF for 10 years. Give us justice and protect our family. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana notes that the police constable has been shot in the head with a pistol and was beaten with a club. The post-mortem examinations have also revealed that his wife had been beaten to death with a club. The grisly murders were carried out by a group who broke into the house at night the day before yesterday. Investigations are underway to apprehend the suspects.
3 persons were killed in a motor accident that occurred in the Urugasmanghandi area in Alpitia this evening.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana said that the accident occurred when a 3-wheeler collided with a tipper.
Now, the police media spokesperson said that 3 males had died in the accident.
The bus driver arrested in connection with an accident in Talatoe which led to the deaths of 5 people has been released on a surety of 500,000 rupees.
Now, that surety was determined after considering submissions made by the Talatoe police to the Kandy magistrate.
The bodies of the 5 victims who were killed in the accident in the Harugama Talatuye last morning are currently lying at the Dharmashalava of the Gohagoda Viharaya, where the public can pay their final respects. The chief prelate of the Askeri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Udugama Sri Buddharakkhita Thera, visited the Viharaya today to pay his final respects to the victims. The fatal accident occurred when a van travelling from Badula to Kandy collided with a bus plying from Kandy to Haragama. The police said that the van driver had lost control of the speeding van near a bend on the road in Haragama and had crashed into the oncoming bus. There were 29 passengers in the van, of whom 3 women and 2 children were killed. Director of the Kandy Teaching Hospital, Dr. RMS K. Ratnayaka, said that the 4 persons who were injured in the accident are still being treated at the hospital's ICU.
King Gang, the spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, addressing a media briefing in Beijing today, has called on Sri Lanka to make efforts to protect and promote human rights in the country.
The Foreign Ministry spokesperson noted that due to the differences in the economic and social development of different countries, there could be differences on human rights protection. He further noted, quote, "What is important is that the relevant countries should make efforts to protect and promote human rights, while other countries in the world should provide constructive assistance," unquote. King Yang says that China has always maintained that on the human rights issues, countries around the world should enhance mutual understanding through dialogue and communication and take constructive means to promote the development of the international human rights cause. President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who led the 2013 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting and became the first Sri Lankan president to chair the Commonwealth, celebrates his birthday today.
Let's now take a look at the illustrious career of President Rajapaksa.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa celebrates his birthday today shortly after the conclusion of a successful Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Born on the 18th of November 1945, Mahinda Rajapaksa was the second son of the late D.A. Rajapaksa. He received his primary education at Richmond College, Galle, and his secondary education at Nalanda College and Thurston College, Colombo, respectively. Following the demise of his father, young Mahinda Rajapaksa entered active politics. He was appointed organizer of the Beliatta electorate for the Sri Lanka Freedom Party in 1968, and on the 27th of May 1970, he was elected to Parliament as the youngest MP at the time. During this period, Mahinda Rajapaksa entered Law College and was sworn in as an attorney in 1976. In 1983, he was married to Shiranti Wickramasinghe. Mahinda Rajapaksa worked towards the victory of the SLFP, and following the 1994 election victory of the SLFP-led People's Alliance, Rajapaksa took up the position of Minister of Labour. Mahinda Rajapaksa also served as the Minister of Fisheries, and on the 6th of February 2002, he took up the position of Leader of the Opposition. He later established the United People's Freedom Alliance, and in 2004 was returned to power and took up the position of Prime Minister. Mahinda Rajapaksa was the UPFA's presidential candidate at the 2005 presidential polls and celebrated his birthday that year as the 6th executive president of Sri Lanka.
අපි ගොඩනගමු.
As President, Mahinda Rajapaksa pledged to bring peace to Sri Lanka.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රධාන පුරවැසියා මොකද්ද හිතුවේ කියලා දැනගන්න මේක අවස්ථාවක් කරගන්න අපි කල්පනා කරා. ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි ඔබතුමා මොකද්ද ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරේ අනිත් හැමෝම වගේ?
ඇත්තටම මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරා මේ රටට මේ රටේ තරුණ පරපුර දරු පරපුර විශේෂයෙන්ම දරු පරපුර නිරෝගී පරපුරක් වෙන්න. ශාස්ත්‍රීයභාවය ඇතිකරන්න සබාදහමත් එක්ක ශාස්ත්‍රීයතාවය ඇති කරගන්න මේ රටේ ජනතාවට බලාපොරොත්තු ඇති වෙනවා නම් මම හිතන්නේ මේ රටටම ලොකු හැමදාම අලුත් අවුරුද්දක් සිටියේවි.
President Rajapaksa made dousing the flames of war primary responsibility of his regime.
මම තාමත්ම පැහැදිලිව LTT සංවිධානයේ ප්‍රභාකරන්ට කියා සිටිනවා ඔවුන්ගේ දැනට තියෙන ආයුධ බිම තියලා වහාම අපිට සමග සාකච්ඡා කරන්නට පැමිණෙන්න.
On the 18th of May 2009, he realized success in this endeavor and unified the nation under one flag. President Rajapaksa then embarked on a major development drive with the intention of turning Sri Lanka into the miracle of Asia.
පළමුවත් මට වටින්නේ මගේ මව්බිම. දෙවනුවත් මගේ මව්බිම. තෙවනුවත් මගේ මව්බිම.
In 2010, President Mahinda Rajapaksa was re-elected in a landslide victory. At present, the president is continuing with the major development drive envisioned in the Mahinda Chintanaya. The road forward has not been easy, however, with a myriad of challenges still facing the nation.
People who are in glass houses must not throw stones. Any country will be very sensitive to references made to any particular country, and even Sri Lanka is sensitive. Whether it is human rights or any other thing. But you must remember that we also have a system. We have a legal system.
A great leader must be identified through his speech. A true leader must not only understand his people, but must be able to give them guidance. President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The United National Party charges that the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting paved the way for an international inquiry.
මේ සමුළුව දිහා බලනකොට ඇත්තටම කාරණා කීපයක් මතකෙට එනවා.
When we examine the summit, there are several facts that come to mind. If you focus on the 98 agreements reached at the summit, it was like watching the play called Maname. Through this summit, we have become part of an international mechanism. One agreement states that Sri Lanka has consented to the International Human Rights Court. This is a dangerous situation. The UNP stated that in terms of human rights violations, implementation of the LLRC report is sufficient. We said that through it, we can conclude our independent investigation, and we urged them not to take it to the international arena. But what has the President done? In signing these agreements and declarations, he has unknowingly created the background to launch an international investigation.
පරීක්ෂණයකට අවශ්‍ය පසුබිම හදන ලියවිල්ලකට නොදොනවත්වම අත්සන් කරලා